look, there I am on the screen again. And there I am up on the stage. Here I go, playing the fool again. And there I go. Woo! Turn the page. What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. And don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe. And of course, hit the notification bell. And remember, guys, there is a super thanks feature right there on the bottom. Next to the like, dislike, share, download, you'll find the little bitty heart with the money sign in it, and you can contribute to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. You know, I've been working very hard lately, and between work hours and dealing with a very, very, very socially active 14-year-old, it doesn't leave me enough me time. So I apologize for being gone for so long, guys, but I do want to check back in because I want to get your thoughts on this story involving one Mr. Terrence Howard, former Ironman star, played Jim Rhodey Rhodes, which is War Machine in the MCU. He was the original one before the Cheadle. Okay, that's BC, before Cheadle. There was Terrence Howard. And at the ripe old age of 53 years old, Terrence Howard has decided that it's time for him to retire. But not before giving a few of his thoughts on Disney and the industry as a whole. Okay? No pun intended. All right, so let's get into what Terrence Howard had to say because I found it very, very telling and very interesting. And of course, it also agrees with some of the things that I've been saying in my commentary over the years, because some people, of course, wonder why I'm so critical about, a lot of these movies that come out, a lot of these projects. I always tell people, listen, you can enjoy what you want to enjoy. You will never and have never seen me argue with anybody over the years about what it is that they enjoy in these movies and these TV shows. I'm just commentary, man. That would be like both of us getting a blowjo from the same woman and then arguing about whether it was the best you ever had or whether it was the worst I ever had. Listen, you had your experience. If that was the best you ever had, that's great. My experience, I've had better. That's great. Okay, everybody's got their own experience. I will not argue with you over that. But there is commentary to be had in all of this, right? So let's get into what Terrence Howard had to say, shall we? And regarding his experience with Ironman, because you guys, like I said, he was the original one, but then he got let go or he walked away from it, whatever the case may be. But here's his statement on that. He says, Ironman was a big dance. It was great until Disney took it over. What's that? He said it was great until Disney took it over. Once Disney took it over, they started looking after money. You know, the very first thing they did was come in and they shook everyone down and shook Gwyneth Paltrow down, trying to shake my character down. Oh, baby, a whole lot of shaking going on. Okay, so there it was. And his agent said, F you, and hung up. Okay, so guys, we know this is what Disney does, right? Now, it's not wrong to want to make money. Okay, they're a big company. It's what they do. The problem with Disney is they give nothing. Okay, they take everything and they give nothing in terms of creativity, in terms of art. All they ever do is rip things off, and they try to fleece their audience as much as they can without giving back to the art, the tradition, to the lore, to everything that made these things great in the first place. So when you hear about Disney taking over any property, unfortunately, you have to look at it like, oh my God, here we go. It's going to be soulless. It's going to be pointless. And ultimately, it's not going to be memorable. And that's what we've gotten. I mean, you've seen that with Star Wars. You've seen that with Marvel. Just about everything you can name. And this is what Terrence Howard is talking about. He continued, it used to be about creativity. But when we first stepped on that set, Robert had so much to prove. I had so much to prove. Gwyneth had a lot to prove. And I think we did it. We made our statements. And now it's like, let's see where this universe goes to. So basically, he's lamenting the fact that when they first got started, they were eager to see what they could do with all of this. You know what I mean? Like, they took pride in what they were doing. And of course, when Disney came in and started pulling the shots and calling all of these shots, it went down in quality. Satisfying the customer was no longer job number one. Now, this is not to be disrespectful to the Cheadle, okay, who stepped into the role of James Rhodes and War Machine after Terrence Howard stepped off. But you guys got to admit, Cheadle ain't hitting the way Terrence Howard was hitting and could have been hitting going forward into the role. I definitely prefer Terrence Howard, and I would have loved to have seen him grow in that role. But unfortunately, it was not to be. And so we got Give Me Back My Roadie. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry, he just doesn't do it for me. Maybe he does it for you guys. But he also has some other thoughts, all right? So let's move on. Disney doing what Disney does. Disney's got a Disney, right? But moving on to how he feels about how black people and black men in particular are portrayed in Hollywood, Terrence Howard goes on to say, I would like to know the ability of men to be men and people to be people. The man has been demonized. The strength and character and faults that come with the man are necessary for balance. That's something that most people today don't understand because of this whole toxic masculinity thing that we have going on. These very attributes that you guys claim to be toxic are vital to us as men to be productive. You know what I mean? And that's what he's talking about here. The man has been demonized. The strength and character and faults that come with the man are necessary for balance. With the new formula, most men are made to be effeminate and not have their power or sense of strength. Now he goes on to say, they allow white men to be able to be strong, but when it's black men, it's seen as a threat. I don't want to remove a few chromosomes to fit in with someone's story. So I feel they need to expand their stories to allow men to be men and simultaneously appreciate a woman's beauty. Amen, brother. I agree with all of that, except where he says that they allow white men to be strong. Because, of course, reports are coming in from all over the world. Our white brothers are starting to feel the sting of this also, where on screen, white men are not allowed to be strong anymore. They used to be that alpha go-to hero guy in classic Hollywood. These days, white men are belittled. They are demonized. They're weakened in favor of women. But don't get it twisted. All of this absolutely, positively, 100% started with the tearing down of the image of black men. Now it's just men in general. But you guys know Hollywood has never been kind to black men. And as a result of that, the black community is in fact a matriarchy. And this is the reason why we don't have any problems whatsoever accepting movies like The Woman King and, of course, Wakanda Forever. Once again, these movies could be great. You can enjoy these movies. What I'm talking about is social commentary. Why these movies exist in their current form in the first place. Now, if you can't get with me on that level, then you need to be off this channel. You can enjoy whatever you want to enjoy. What I'm talking about simply is social commentary. Now, what I think is interesting about this Terrence Howard piece is that I always started to wonder when it will get to a point where actors actually start to stop being like so desperate for crumbs and start having standards where they just stop accepting any old role. And I think what we're seeing here with Terrence Howard could be a trend. At 53, he shouldn't be thinking about just retiring from acting. He should be going into his the second phase of his career, on to the third phase of his career. He should allow to be, to get old in this business. But he sounds like he's frustrated, guys. And it reminds me of an old joke from the late great comedian Paul Mooney that I saw years ago, and it made me laugh. He simply asked the question, what do you call a bunch of black actors in Hollywood? Now, keep in mind, guys, this is when the show Desperate Housewives was very big on ABC. You might remember that, Eva Longoria, Terry Hatcher. Anyway, he says, what do you call a bunch of black actors in Hollywood? Desperate house Negroes is basically what he said. And I thought that was so funny because, and it's sad at the same time, but that's what Paul Mooney did best. You know what I mean? His social commentary was unparalleled. And of course, he's right. There are so many black actors in Hollywood that are so desperate that they'll take anything without really thinking. I mean, it's a job. You know what I'm saying? It's a job. So I can't fault them on that. We all have to work. But I'm just saying, this is what's going on. A lot of them feel like they just have to take anything regardless of their own convictions or beliefs or how they might come across on screen. But here with Terrence Howard, it seems like he's more aware of what's out there. And Robert Townsend talked about this also. He addressed this in Hollywood Shuffle. Not much has changed, so this is what we have going on. And like I said before, even though you do have this going on with men in general in Hollywood. God knows the image of the white man is taking a beating. He's the go-to man these days for being a bad guy, for being a racist, white supremacy, all of that stuff. You know, none of us are looking good right now. But what Terrence Howard is talking about is the emasculation specifically of black men. You know, and that's basically what he's seeing. That's what I've been seeing. I've been seeing the removal of strong black characters in these roles. And it really should be addressed. So I do applaud Terrence Howard for this. I think it's sad that he's come to this point where he does want to step down. I mean, I think he's got a show coming out soon, The Best Man, what was it, the Final Years or something like that, that's going to be coming out soon. But after that, he says he's hanging it up. So I guess we'll see. But I thought it was very interesting what he had to say. And I want your comments on this as well. Do you think he has a point? You know, do you respect what he's doing, what he's saying about all of this? You can get in the comment section and let me know. And guys, I do value your views, and I thank you so much for hanging in there with me, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.